You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Stop our show.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Hot Take Hot Box, fresh off of Christmas and Christmas Day that had some NFL action, some NBA action. It had all sorts of action. We are here to talk about everything that went down this past weekend. My name is Matt McSweeney. This is the Hot Take Hot Box. I am joined by Ty Capone from the beautiful Sunshine State. Ty, how are you feeling down there? What's going on? What's the weather like down there?
It's a little cold. It's 68, cloudy.
68.
A nice breeze. No, it's pretty nice. Christmas Day was like a nice 71. The day of reckoning, if you will.
Oh. What to talk about that?
Yeah, we'll have to get into that. That was an absolute, I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know if to call it a success or a failure or somewhere in the middle. But, yeah, weather's good. I'm going to the Panthers Lightning game later. I'm sober for the foreseeable future after a horrible incident on Friday night that maybe I will talk about on the next.
Jesus, all right.
Maybe when we give our awards show later this week, maybe I'll divulge.
Maybe you'll nominate yourself for an award.
Yeah. Most likely to throw up in the freight elevator and fall asleep for 5 hours. That's me. That's me from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Jesus.
In a pile of my own puke.
This guy turned into a homeless bum in the middle of the night. That's
I turned into a pumpkin that's been out in the rain for a week. So
there you go.
I'm not sure. It's gonna be tough because I'm going on the ferry before the game, and the ferry they know me and they know all of us that work where we work. They just pour up drinks like it's nothing. They're like, here's your 20-ounce shot for free. I'm like, okay.
All right, here we go.
So that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough to resist that, but I will hold strong for sure.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you stick around, you might get a sneak peek into the story where that Ty ended up in the freight elevator. That's gonna be tough.
It's pretty scary. I also set off the alarm and I didn't even know.
There you go. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into any of that, we got to talk about the Eagles Giants from Christmas Day, 4:00 start. I mean, the day started off a little bit spooky with the Raiders absolutely clapping the Chiefs' cheeks up and down the field. I mean, in Arrowhead, T Swift in the building celebrating Christmas with Travis. And listen, I hear a lot of people, before we even get into the Eagles, I know I just gave a whole Eagles intro. I just wanted to talk about the Chiefs for a second. Talk about the Eagles' demise or how good or not good they are. The Chiefs have been horrible all year long. They can act like I love the people that are like, oh, this is all Travis's fault. When he started getting with Taylor, then everything went downhill. Like, nah, man. I think the bigger problem is the fact that they never went out and got any wide receivers. It's like old school Eagles. This is like the Donovan McNabb era Eagles. Like, you have Rashee Rice out there. You have MVS catching passes. You have Kadarius Toney whose hands don't work. It literally looks like the mid 2000s Eagles. Like late 2000s Eagles, I should say, because it is a lot of slop that goes on. And Travis is not having his best year, but it's definitely not their fault specifically. And, I mean, even the line, Mahomes was getting assaulted the entire game on Sunday, or was that Monday? So, not a good look for our Chiefs, or for your Chiefs, I should say.
My Chiefs, hold on. I was in the building one time to see them play, so I guess I can claim them if I want to, but I don't know if I want to. I mean, dude, they lost to a team that had 200 yards total. By the way, they were at home, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
At GEHA Field, not Geha or Geha, GEHA. So that's pretty dumb. That's probably why they lost. I think I saw Aiden O'Connell did not complete a pass after the first quarter. That's nuts. Zamir White ran all over them. That was crazy. Zeus, as they call him. Devontae Adams put up 1-4, so if anybody needed him to do well in your semis like I did, but it didn't matter. I advanced anyway. Yeah, that sucked. And I think Mahomes, if you rank all the players, I believe Pro Football Focus grades for quarterbacks that week, he was the lowest of like 33 that played. So that's a nice humbling moment nice humbling experience for Chiefs fans. You know, they kept telling me at the end of the game, "Oh yeah, you take your regular season win, we'll take our Super Bowls." I'm like, "All right, we'll see how many you win in the future." Because you know, it might seem easy with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, but what happens when you have, you know, your top option behind Travis Kelce is Noah Gray or, you know, Rashee Rice. I like Rashee Rice a lot, but then you got Richie James. Like you're taking him off, you know, punt return duty to be your wide receiver 2 or 3. Justin Watson, you know, he was like wide receiver 3 in Tampa last year. So like, you know, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they're relying on him more than they even thought. The run game isn't working. Isaiah Pacheco didn't do anything. I don't think their defense is bad, but you know it's not elite. It's not going to win them games. So they're in a weird spot, man. 9-6. They keep scoring like I think they went. I think like 3 out of the last 4 games, or 4 out of the last 5, they scored 20 or less. So yeah, I mean, it's not looking good in KC. I mean, we talk all we're not the most optimistic about our birds, but I can't imagine how some Chiefs fans in the dirty Missouri are feeling right now about, you know, almost losing to I guess they didn't almost lose to Vegas a couple weeks ago, but it was tight if I remember correctly. And then they lose to them this week, and then they got the Bengals and the Chargers. So going in the playoffs, they look a little wounded. I'm not sure what you know, why didn't they get DeAndre Hopkins is my question.
Yeah, why didn't they get something? You know, I'm telling you, it seems like a deja vu with the Andy Reid style of like, he's like, oh, well, we don't really need, you know, like we don't need it. We have Pat Mahomes, we have this, we have that. We'll be fine. You need weapons, dude. No matter how good your quarterback is, no matter how good this guy or that guy is, you need weapons on the outside to get some sort of separation. Especially, I mean, Max Crosby was in the backfield the whole day, man. That guy's kind of elite.
Yeah, he's nasty.
He's kind of snuck up on everyone. I mean, I know he's been good for a couple years now, but it seems like he's really taken that next step this past year. So it's you know, good for him.
Also,
go ahead. I was gonna say he has 13.5 sacks. That's pretty. I mean, he's
crazy. Yeah, I was looking at some of the sack leaders the other day. I didn't even realize like there's so many amazing edge rushers in this league. Like Myles Garrett probably should just get a couple MVP votes from a couple people just because him and TJ Watt, they actually wreck games themselves and they win games themselves sometimes, it seems like. So those guys, Aiden Hutchinson's had an awesome year. So a lot of amazing edge rushers. Yeah, he's awesome.
Unreal.
The fact that he was able to surpass his brother after all his brother did in his career was crazy. So also the Chiefs, like they thought they had something with Orlando Brown, let him walk, and they're like, you know what, we'll take a flyer on Jawan Taylor and we'll see how he works, and then we'll put Wanya Morris at left tackle. I think they had somebody else hurt. I'm not sure, but I know their O line is just, besides Creed Humphrey, who's probably like, you know, Jason Kelce 2.0. Their O line is dog shit. So
yeah.
You know, compare that with Kelce getting older, and you know the running backs are decent, but they're not game breakers. So yeah, they have a lot to work on. Honestly, I mean, I think they found a couple of gems on defense, and Trey McDuffie, Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you know, when you look at their team, when you look at it from on like paper, like where would the Chiefs even rank on paper? Like maybe in the top 10, maybe, but. And also Mahomes hasn't been himself. Obviously, there's reasons for that, but he's been just not great. So I don't think they're going to make it very far, I'll say. But I guess, you know, anything can happen in the playoffs.
Anything can happen in the playoffs, and that's a good segue to kind of hop over to our Eagles, like we said. Eagles, Giants, 4 o'clock, 4:25, whatever. Home game against the Giants. The Italians coming to town, Tommy DeVito. We felt good going into this. They were 11.5 when we did the podcast. They wound up ballooning up to 14-point favorites by the time the game started, which they, of course, did not cover. But overall, I would say I don't want to go through the whole game. If you didn't watch the game, then just brush up on it, because I used to do these like hardcore breakdowns where I'd go from like drive to drive, and like no one really cares. I mean, you watch the game, you know what happened, okay? I would just say, overall, I thought the offense played pretty good. I think the team itself played pretty good. I think the score is not necessarily indicative of really what happened on Sunday. Or I keep saying Sunday, but it's a fucking Monday game, which is weird. But, you know, what was it, 33-25? the pick six was kind of somewhat fluky, right? It was,
very.
Goddard slipped, and it was the right throw, right kind of decision. Maybe it would have got knocked down, but it wouldn't have been a pick six had Goddard stayed on his feet. It's kind of just a fluky, weird situation. And the other kind of, I'm forgetting to mention the fact that Zacchaeus just truck sticked Boston Scott on a kickoff to start the second half. And that kind of sent us down to in a little bit of a tailspin because it looked like we were about to walk away with this game. We were up 20? Was it 20-3?
20-3, yeah.
20-3 at halftime. It's like, all right, we're good. And then right away, we get the ball. It's like, dude, this game's over. We go down and get any sort of points here. This game is over. No, Zacchaeus, he took some sort of envelope. He said, you know what, dude, I'll get us this ball back. He's like, I couldn't get the kickoff myself, but I'll fucking run Boston Scott over. And Boston Scott gets run over. Drops the ball, fumble. Giants get the ball, go in, score. And, they scored 15 points in that third quarter. It started to get real hairy here. And this that is the best way that I can explain it. DeVito gets taken out at a certain point. He was 9 for 16 with 55 yards. I think he had a couple sacks, again, which isn't necessarily against him. They ran the ball 23 times to Saquon Barkley for only 80 yards. I think overall, Ty, the Eagles' defense played good. I'm not mentioning the Darius Slayton. I think it was a 69, 70-yard bomb that he caught that left Reed Blankenship in the fucking dust, chasing after him, and that was it was a little too late there. But all in all, Ty, I would say the offense looked much better in this game. I think they had around or close to 500 yards of offense. And I think that is a positive. I know they were playing the Giants. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever. It's not, we're not fixed. It's not, it's not all is not right in the world. There are plenty of problems, and we'll get into it. There was arguments on the sideline. There was a lot of different stuff. A.J. Brown continues to try and make everything about him, which I love. I'm starting to actually appreciate how much he is such a diva and a crybaby. That it's like it's become almost endearing to me now. But all in all, Ty, the defense I thought played pretty good. What they only gave up, a little bit under 300 yards of offense. They started to get cooked a little bit when Tyrod Taylor took over. He was 7 for 16, 133 yards. He did throw a pick. I don't remember who he threw that pick to.
Keely Ringo at the end of the game.
Oh, that's right, at the very end of the game. Correct. So
shout out to Keely Ringo.
Keely Ringo has kind of been the surprise star, I guess, of the, or just, I guess, just kind of a emerging star for this team. He has well surpassed any expectations that people may have set out for him when he got drafted. And I remember when they traded up to get him, and it was like he's kind of like a a development sort of player. We're not going to see a lot from him this season, but what is he? He's only 22. He's like a young kid, right? He's like 21. I know they were saying he was younger than, so they would have more time to develop him. But, man, Ty, he's looked good. He's wearing that 22. The 22 fits him well with that pick six Asante Samuel style of play. But
better than 37 that he wore.
That thing was ugly. But all in all, Ty, I thought they played well. I thought it was I'm not feeling great. I still don't feel good about this team. But a win is a win, and I can't. I found myself getting all angry on Monday. It was just like, fucking, we should have blown these guys out and this and that. And then you start to look at the game. You start to, all right, like you feel a little bit better. Like Jalen looked good. Jalen's still not throwing the ball down the middle of the field. If you look at the the spray chart, kind of, it's all on the outside of the numbers, which is still a big concern. But Swift got it going, and AJ Brown, Devontae Smith did their thing. So all in all, it was a pretty good game.
I needed AJ to outscore Devontae. I think by a couple points, or I needed him to keep it close. And in the first half, he didn't do shit, so I was very nervous for my one fantasy matchup. But he pulled through, and the offense I guess was humming a little bit. Brian Johnson is really just holding us back completely. And what else can you say? The voices are going to keep getting louder each game, and especially as these stakes get higher. Like once we get in the playoffs, and he keeps calling the screens to Julio Jones on 3rd and 10, like. There's going to be a lot of people calling for his job after this year, especially if we have a disappointing end to the season. So that's just something that we're going to have to just deal with. Honestly, there's nothing you can do about it. You can take away the play calling duties if you want, but like, who are you going to give them to? Nick Sirianni? I fucking hope not. He was getting into it with, I think it was DJ Elliott, the linebackers coach. Shout out to Kansas. He used to be the DC there. So, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby. And then I saw Devontae Smith trying to just not intervene, but he was also involved in the conversation. Who knows what it was about? Then I saw a still shot of AJ Brown's like looking, like kind of peering over at Sirianni. So who knows? Who knows? I see people saying like Sirianni might have lost the locker room, or he might lose the locker room. I don't know if he has yet, but I could see it happening. Honestly, I could see that happening 100%. We've seen it happen with his team before.
Yeah. Ty, let me ask you a question though. Like, do you like? What would that be more indicative of him, or would that be the fact that these players are so like? You guys went to the Super Bowl last year. You were easily the best team in the league. You're still 11-4. I get you're not playing at the level that you want to, and yada yada yada. But I mean, at the first hint of adversity, you're all going to turn your back on him. Like, what does that say more? Is it more of a Sirianni is just not a good coach, or is it that these players are all soft?
It might be a little bit of both. I think I don't know how many. Like, if there was like a coup, I don't know how many people would be behind it, other than AJ Brown, if he even was behind it. So I don't know if it speaks. I honestly don't know. I guess we'll have to wait for maybe we should text Josina Anderson, see what she has to say about this, see if she can get to the bottom of it like she did in 2017. But I think, I think the defense is still my primary concern. I mean, we got some pressure. We had 18 pressures, 6 from Hassan Reddick, 3 from Sweat, 3 from BG, 0 from Jalen Carter, 0 from Jordan Davis. We traded up for Jordan Davis, and we took him over a very exceptional player at a position of absolute need, and that was Kyle Hamilton. And that doesn't look good. I don't like that decision at all. And people are going to say, "Well, Jordan Davis, he plays his role very well." And I don't know, man. I just don't know. I mean, his PFF grades have dropped from last year to this year. I don't notice him at all. Yeah. I don't notice him do anything in the run game really ever. I noticed 93 Milton Williams much more than I notice Jordan Davis or even Jalen Carter of the last couple weeks. A lot of Bears fans have been talking a little chippy lately because the guy they drafted, Javon Dexter, he was kind of the opposite of Jalen Carter. He wasn't playing well in the first half of the year. Now he's playing really well. They think they have a steal there. Maybe Jalen Carter's hit a rookie wall. I can see it. He's young. He was always kind of raw with his pass rushing moves and ability to win. So I've seen him get stonewalled a bunch of times. I'm not worried about him necessarily, but the two Georgia boys, they're not playing well, but Keely Ringo is. So hopefully we get Nakobe Dean back. I wouldn't say we need him, but it would be really nice to have just a group of linebackers like Cunningham, Shaq Leonard, maybe even Ben Van Summer, who played pretty well. He had an 81.9 grade this week in 36 snaps. Just solid across the board, run defense. We missed 2 tackles that game. That was good to see. But we did have 2 turnovers. We did have 9 penalties. So we really still have to clean things up. And I really hate that we're at this point of the season. We have to clean things up, and we have to, we're hoping and praying that our coaching staff can get it together. It's like these things should have been hammered out in like week 9, 10. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you look around the league, like almost every team is having some kind of adversity. Every team is, going through it. Brock Purdy just threw 10 picks this week. The Cowboys, now everyone's like, oh, is their season over? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I think they're still maybe the favorites to come out of the NFC, possibly, if all things are rolling. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So maybe it's not all bad for us because it's bad for everybody right now. I mean, what team is even – I guess the Ravens. They're the only team that's like hot right now that's not really worried about anything. And, Lamar honestly should probably be the front runner for MVP, I think. I mean, the fact that he's doing all this, he doesn't have that many touchdowns, and people keep saying that, but Gus Edwards has like 7 1-yard rushing touchdowns, and Justice Hill is like 5 2-yard rushing touchdowns. So, he's doing it with an absolute decrepit Odell Beckham, Rashad Bateman, who hurts his foot every week, Zay Flowers, a solid rookie, Mark Andrews is done. They don't really have a good running back, so I think he should probably be MVP. Maybe Tyreek Hill, honestly. I mean, the Dolphins
or McCaffrey.
Or McCaffrey. Honestly, that is their MVP of that team.
100%. That's why I was always mad when people would say Brock Purdy. I'm like, dude, if they didn't have I guess that's easy to say about any team, but it just always felt like that team has such weapons. And McCaffrey is such a difference maker, man. Like,
yeah, he's also MVP for pulling Olivia Culpo. So I can't be mad at him for that. But yeah, looking around the league, I think I'm starting to feel a little bit better, or at least not as bad about the Birds, just because everybody else has something going on. Everybody else is battling a huge weakness. But the turnovers and the penalties are really just something that cannot happen, and they keep happening. Especially, opening the second half, you get the ball and then you give it right back to a team. Like, what if we were down 27-10, or what if we were down whatever score? Like, that shit like that can't happen. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that we did in the beginning half of the year, where we're down at half and we're the comeback kids. Like that shit like that will not fly in the playoffs. So definitely some things to clean up. I think the O-line is starting to gel together a little bit. I think we're starting to slowly round into playoff form, but I definitely have my list of concerns.
Well, I'll tell you, one of my number one list of concerns is, Ty, can you tell me the last time Josh Sweat had a sack?
Was it against? I feel like I remember him doing the celebration, but I just don't know who it was against. Was it against the Bills?
No,
the Chiefs?
He's had a couple tackles for loss, and I think that those will get you the old sweaty celebration. But
yeah,
Ty, in fact, he has not had a sack since November 5th against the Dallas Cowboys at home. That was the last time he had a sack.
Almost 2 months.
He has 6.5 sacks on the year. He was on a little bit of a tear early on in the season, and then it seems like he just hit a wall. And 6 straight games without a Josh Sweat sack. Reddick has 11 sacks, so he's not having all that bad of a year. But
so nobody else really. Last year we had 5 guys with 10 or some shit like that. And
yeah, we had 70 sacks, I think, which was like a record for a whole team to have that many sacks, and it's just they have really fallen by the wayside this year. It's been a tough thing to see, but
it's kind of crazy, dude. None of our DBs have a sack.
No,
not one. That's like I understand that they're DBs, but they blitz. It's a good thing to blitz your DBs, and we just have not. I guess. I mean, again, I think it's our greater issue as a team. I think is our coordinators. Both of them, I think, have had issues. And I just saw somebody tweet something about how we miss Jonathan Gannon. I was like, damn. I guess we kind of do. Like, I thought we were going to miss Shane Steichen, which we 1,000,000% do. But yeah, I mean. Again, we said this literally as soon as it happened last year, that losing both coordinators, no matter what kind of team you have, like that's going to hurt, man. That's going to suck. Like it happened to LSU when they won the national championship. They lost players and they lost coaches. And when you lose, coaches, you have to learn a whole new system to a whole new group of guys. And it hasn't gone well or smoothly, I guess, if you will.
I do like the feeling of the defense. I have a better, I guess, a little bit more confidence in Matt Patricia's ability to kind of get these guys in the right. It seemed like with Sean Desai, they were just completely lost, right? I mean, and I just count that this team, this Eagles defense, gave up 9 points of honest, honest scores, because I mean the pick six. And getting the ball on the 10-yard line, I don't count that as like that. Their
I mean, they
fault,
only had
basically.
200 yards of total offense, or 292. I'm sorry, but we had.
But still, a lot of that was like trash time. Like they were going up and down the field because they were throwing the ball constantly, and we
the
just
end
had
of the game, that drive where I did get a little nervous, but I was like,
I don't like that. We really are not good at the end. Like at the end of these games, these end of game drives, people really have their way with us, and.
I think Waller catch. I was like, I was furious. There was 4 guys right there. I was like, bro, what?
And Waller honestly cost them that game because he was asking for a sub in that situation. Which, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, dude, get up, bro. Get up, get on the line. They were gonna spike the ball no matter what. You have to be aware a little bit of what the situation is. I get you got cracked, but come on, man, like. That they burnt a lot of clock with that because they were all walking around. Then the ref came in, stopped them because they were gonna sub, and then he didn't sub, and then he ran back over and lined up. It was.
I guess you could say he's soft as a plum if you get it.
Oh, shout out to Kelsey, but I did get that. There you go. I think honestly the Eagles would have been in trouble if Tyrod would have played this whole game because he was getting the ball where it needed to be, and
he just feel himself.
Yeah, Tommy DeVito is horrible.
Tommy Cutler, dude. So yesterday at the bar, these Giants fans. All I hear is, Dude, how great of a story though would it be if Tommy DeVito just became like a franchise quarterback? I think he can do it. And I'm listening to this. I'm like, bro, he just got benched. Like,
Yeah,
it's a good story and all, but calm down.
hey man, I love a good Italian American triumph story as much as the next guy, but it's not that. That ain't it. That's not going to happen. He'll be. I mean, he's not like. I mean, he's bad. He's bad. I was about to try and give him a compliment, but he's just not good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was very I was sad when they took him out because I was like, oh shit, we might be in trouble here. Like so.
But in this league that we have now with Aiden O'Connell's getting started, Easton Stick. What just happened this week? We have 3 new quarterbacks that are coming: Jacoby Brissett, whoever's on the
Stidham.
Broncos, Stidham, and somebody else. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But there's a lot of bad backup quarterbacks, third stringers, and whatnot. So Bailey Zappi's he's got people buying Zappy jerseys in New England. That's how much how desperate they are for a good quarterback. So yeah, I'm sure Tommy Cutlets can hang around for a little bit, but eventually when he throws 3 pick sixes in a row in a game or some shit, they're gonna run him out of New York or New Jersey, if you will. Yeah.
So after the
maybe
game,
he comes to Philly.
After the game tie, Eagles win 33-25. Comes down to the very end, last drive, last play, last gasp, and it was close. Like that play, like they could have called pass interference to the back of the end zone there because I'm pretty sure Bradley Roby just annihilated somebody like in the back of the end zone while the ball was in the air. So it was like, I'm sitting there looking and I'm like watching people shake hands. I'm like, wow, they didn't throw a flag. There was a couple plays at the end of the game where I guess I'm just so conditioned to watching the NFL that like everything's a flag. So I just assume that they're going to throw a flag here. They're going to throw a flag here. Like, I guess I have to kind of get my brain out of that mode. But game was over. They won. Woohoo. I had people talk me off the ledge. And then, after the game, it's, AJ Brown. I guess that's what I'm going to get to. But, everyone spoke. Sirianni's press conferences have become a real hot topic here in Philadelphia. Just to see what he's going to say, how's he going to defend himself. Sirianni was fired up after the game, which probably turned some Eagles fans off because the Eagles fans are not happy right now with the way that the team has played. And I saw some people say, Eagles fans have turned into snobs. That's 1% of winning, one little taste of like excellence, and they're just, that's all they will accept. But Ty, are we wrong in feeling a little bit like not too thrilled about beating the Giants at the last gasp of the game? I mean, have we turned into snobs?
I don't think so. I think it's kind of fair criticism that we've given all year long. I mean, it's just been like a constant uphill battle. It seems like with this team. Last year was so much more smooth sailing and just free flowing. And this year, there's always something like the turnovers just keep happening.
Yeah,
penalties keep happening. Bad OC, bad play calling keeps happening, and then defensive miscues keep happening. It seems like the offensive, defense, and special teams we're not all synced up for a large part of games, and that's what we need. That's exactly what we need. We need some continuity, and it seems like we're missing some key components that make up a championship level team. So. No, I don't think we're snobs at all. I mean, I guess if anybody were to be the snobs, it would be the Chiefs fans because they have 2 rings.
Yeah,
so they can handle a little bit of adversity. We have none, at least since the last one in 2017. But with this core group of players, with this team, we don't have anything. We got there, we lost, and I wouldn't bet on us to get back, but anything happens. So we'll see if we end the season on a high note. If we win it all, I mean. Yeah, all the optimists, all the optimists can talk their shit, I guess. But I don't know. I still have concerns. I still have doubts. The third down defense is still bad. What was it in this game? Let us see. 4-14 the Giants were, so not good. So at least we fixed that, or at least have done better in that. I mean, but like we played them. We played them twice, and then we played the Cardinals. So, like, how much are we really seeing? We're not seeing a playoff team. So, or I don't want to say we're stat padding or whatever. But I don't want these last couple weeks to, make people think that no, this team's changed. They turned things around the last 3 weeks. Like maybe not. I mean, we were supposed to have 4 games at the end of the year that we could win, and we lost the one to the Seahawks. So, I guess we're just have to wait till the playoffs. Really, I mean.
Yeah, I'm like we talked about this last week. Like this was not, the Seahawks game was kind of like the line in the sand where it's like, oh, okay, like they're really not that good. Like that's where I was like, that's a game where you have to win. I know you're going on the road, whatever. And it was more to me like if they had came out and just been flat or whatever, I would have been mad. But it's like, okay, they was just a bag. Like that would have been 3 games in a row they were flat. They came out, they were up double digits in that game, and they blew it to Drew Lock. They let Drew Lock drive down the field with no, what do you have? No timeouts left, I'm pretty sure, and maybe one time,
92-yard drive,
92-yard drive, just looked like Joe Montana. So that's where it was like the way it happened was ugly, and you just wanted nothing to do with it. I don't know, man. I have trouble feeling good. We talked about it last week. I have trouble feeling good about beating up Tommy DeVito and the Giants, beating up on the lowly Arizona Cardinals, who are, I think, 4-12 now?
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
They're 3-12, whatever they are. They're not good, and I have trouble getting excited about them or excited about a game against them. Especially this is going to be probably 3 games in a row, Ty, that we're going to be at least a touchdown favorite. We're double-digit favorites in back-to-back weeks. And, I mean, who knows if we actually go and cover this week. But after this past week, there was some people came out, like, especially, like, I love, like, the way Devontae Smith has handled all of this has been incredible to me. Just typical Saban guy, not happy with what's going on, but not going to bury his teammates. Not gonna, listen, we won, but I'm not thrilled. This is a quote from him after the game. He actually talked to the media after the game and stood in front of the people, and he was the one that was kind of letting Sirianni know, like, yo, you got to chill out, bro. Like, you're fucking freaking out for no reason. Because I'm pretty like, didn't the Eagles burn a timeout and during that last drive that was just like dumb? There was just a lot of dumb shit going on, and I think that Reddick was trying to figure out what was going on and why is he interjecting himself into that conversation. That was weird to me, but we're not playing good football right now. As an offense, we're not where we want to be. I'm not satisfied. Yeah, we got 11 wins, but I'm not happy. It needs to be better for what I want to do, what everybody else in here wants to do, what we want to be. We're nowhere near that, so no, I'm not happy, right? Like that seems like an appropriate answer. Like, yeah, we won, like we got 11 wins, but I'm not happy, like, and I think that's kind of the mentality we should have.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. People, like I said earlier in the year, people kept coming up to me like, "Yo, you're Eagles, man, 9-1, 8-1, 7-1." I'm like, bro, please, like, I love it. Sure, a win is a win. W is more important than any other stat, but like, you need some nuance when you're discussing a team and how well they're playing and everything. Like, look at Brock Purdy's win-loss record in the NFL. You think he's the best quarterback ever. He probably has the best winning percentage, minimum however many starts, but it's how you get it done, right? So, yeah, we haven't looked pretty all year, so I guess we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we get, I think right now, I don't know, are we projected to get the Rams? Is that what I'm saying? Listen, I would love that. Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Cooper Kupp, when they're all healthy, that team is humming. So I wouldn't love that. I think we'd win, but I still kind of get nervous, especially like at the, in the playoffs with these corners. We still have guys that are injured, right? Slay and Nakobe Dean are still out. We need them back. Is Dickerson hurt too, right? So,
yeah.
Not being fully healthy yet is a little worrisome. We're almost in January. So yeah, I'm not pressing the panic button, but I'm looking at it.
If the season ended today, Ty, we would be playing the Seahawks in Philadelphia during the wild card round. So I hope that gets you excited. I hope you get fired up for that. But
so the Browns?
The Seahawks.
Seahawks. I don't know why I thought the Browns. I think I don't know. I'm like, they're in the AFC. No, we owe the Seahawks for them, but imagine we lost to them again. Jesus.
So after the game, A.J. Brown did not talk to the media, Ty. He declined when they came to him. He said, I was taught if I had nothing good to say nothing at all.
Gotcha.
I'll take the fine if I have to. So for whatever reason, again, after a win, he's upset and angry.
A win where he was force-fed the ball in the second half.
Yes, where he was just getting fed the ball. He's not happy, and he will not talk to the media. He will not say anything nice. He couldn't even go out there and fake it and say, we got to get this right, and we're I think we're trending in the right direction. Our offense, kind of looked good today. You could make up whatever you want. You not saying anything or saying this bullshit that I just read is way worse than anything he could have said that was kind of cookie cutter and nothing answers. He made this a much bigger situation than it really had to be, because now, Ty, it's sort of like what a lot of the people are talking about. It's, wow, what did he mean by that? What was he angry about? What was he not going to say that wasn't nice? So it's. He's gone out and done his best job at creating any possible distraction that he can. And I'm almost positive that he's one of the top leaders for receiving yards, is he not? I mean, he is tearing it up this year. So I don't understand what he's always we understand
Third.
The team itself has not played that well. It has not played great. We are very aware of that. But everyone has been able to deal with it in their own way and has been able to understand that we are in control of this. Jalen Hurts played much better in this game. The offense played much better in this game. What are you so mad about? That's what I want to know. And what do you think it is?
I wish I knew. He's third in receptions. He's fifth in targets. He's third in yards, I should say. Fifth in targets. Fifth in receptions. Actually, he is second in the league in targets behind Garrett Wilson, who they can't get the ball to that guy. So yeah, he's one ahead of Lamb, two ahead of Keenan Allen. He's got more than Tyreek and Devontae and St. Brown and Puka and Diggs and Pittman. Like, I don't know. It can't be that he wants the ball more. It can't be that, because he got the ball as much as he possibly could in the second half. I don't know if. I have a feeling that it's just the scheme, the play calling, the design of plays on the offense, because it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look like how it did last year. We're not taking deep shots. We're not as successful with deep shots. Like you said, we're not really going over the middle. So it's like, what are we even running? It seems like we're running a very vanilla, basic, just gross offense. Like, there's nothing sexy about it. Like, San Francisco runs some sexy ass offense. So does Miami, and I just don't really know. At least that's my opinion. I don't know what he's mad at. He could be mad at anything. It could be like the air quality. It could be the L on the Lincoln Financial sign. Maybe. He
doesn't like the way they
flag.
chant they do the Eagles chant. He doesn't like the song. It could be a lot of stuff. Yeah, like
it could be anything. Jason Kelsey's beard,
the coffee in the
maybe.
NovaCare Center.
Yeah. I don't know. But I have a good feeling it's the offensive scheme. It's the way they just don't really have this grand plan of how to run an offense from a coaching standpoint. It's kind of just we have some guys, so let's hopefully they win their reps, and let's try to get them the ball on a slant. Like, that's it. And maybe that's it. That has to be it. At least that's what I'm thinking, because it can't be Jalen. Jalen hasn't been that bad. I think he's more like his 2021 self than 2022, but he's also hampered with the knee, and we have no other third receiving threat. We have Goddard back now, but Zacchaeus, Quez, Watkins, Julio, there's nobody else out there receiver besides Smith and Brown. We don't really throw to our running backs. They both played well. I thought Gainwell had a couple good little plays, so it has to be the play calling and the play design, but who knows?
I would probably agree with that. And the thing that has sucked is that A.J. Brown has done his best to kind of show up Jalen Hurts in any situation that he can on the sideline. Or, I wish he would just chill the fuck out every once in a while and not make everything the biggest deal that it possibly can be. But that's kind of just what being a diva wide receiver is. That's kind of what it entails. And there's a reason that the Titans didn't want to give him that bread that they gave him. And, now we are kind of maybe realizing that the downfalls, the pitfalls, I guess. Because I still love having A.J. Brown. Make no mistake about it. He is a great player. He has made a difference for this offense. And I appreciate what he has brought to us. But there are some negatives to having him. And we are kind of experiencing some of those negatives. And it's unfortunate, but we will have to get through this. if I was in his situation, maybe I would feel the same way, towards the Brian Johnsons and the Nick Siriannis of the world. I would do my best to not let the media know about it, let the people outside know about it, because that just shows your team any weakness. And if you're truly a competitor, then you don't want anyone outside of your building to think that there's anything wrong. You would want everyone to know that we're all on the same page and everything. And it unlike last year, this team just feels like they're not on the same page. It does feel like the team, not even, I would say like maybe the year after we won the Super Bowl, again when we had Wentz came back, and it just seemed like we were just disjointed the entire year. Like the year before that was like we were just blowing teams out. It was like a wave that just crushed anyone in its way, and we went on, rolled through the Super Bowl, won whatever. Then the next year, you bring Wentz in, he's hurt still kind of. And he comes in, and it's just the team's just not the same. Now it's not the same situation, but I guess you could say, with the offensive coordinator, and that was another team that lost its offensive coordinator. Frank Reich got a job right after that, and maybe that has been the thing that has really just hampered this team. And who did they even hire the year after that for the offensive coordinator? I know Doug was not doing a great job of hiring offensive coordinator. I'm pretty sure Press Taylor at one point was calling plays for the Eagles.
Yeah.
It was I guess it's just a minor thing that doesn't really matter, but
Mike Groh.
There you go. There you go. See, that's all you need to know. And Mike Groh did a couple years, and then they fired him, and they got somebody else in there.
Steichen came in.
Yeah, and then Steichen came in, and he was a complete difference maker. Yeah, they let him call the plays, and I that's why I'm like, Sirianni keeps saying the offense is fine, and the play calling's not the problem. Well, they're like, something is the problem. So week after week, we keep wondering, and when you see that spray chart, you're like, wow, is it? It can't be that Jalen doesn't like throwing the ball across the middle, because you see some of them from last year, and he was throwing that ball across the middle. I'm pretty sure he threw one ball across the middle on Monday, Ty. You know what that was?
The touchdown?
The 35-yard touchdown to Devontae Smith. So
seems like it works, right? Also, Devontae Smith, I saw his route running tree, and it was all just garbage. Yeah. He's all on the right side of the field, and he's just doing these little, I don't even know what you would call them, because I'm not an X's and O's guy, but it was just not pretty. Devontae Smith's one of the best route runners in the league, man. You got to put him downfield. You have these 2 1,000-yard receivers back-to-back years for the first time ever, I think. So, give them something good to run, man. We're running these basic, simple concepts and routes, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
And of all coaches, it would be different if we had maybe a Sean McDermott as a head coach, and it's all right, we need to get somebody in here. Nick Sirianni, I'm pretty sure, was a wide receiver in college, and he's been an offensive coach his entire career. There is no excuse for this kind of thing to be happening, for our wide receivers to be running such shitty patterns, and for our offense to be so milquetoast and just so predictable. It has been week after week after week, and we all know what's happening. They keep running those fucking bubble screens. They keep running all of this stuff that we hate, and it's not gonna end. And it feels to me like they don't want to throw Brian Johnson under the bus to kind of hurt his ability to get a head coaching job. But at the end of the day, Ty, you got to do what's best for your franchise and for your team, and to win this year. And honestly, the sad thing about this, and that's kind of my whole point in this little diatribe, is I don't even think going to Sirianni as the play caller would really affect anything or change, because I don't think, if this is really his offense, then I don't think he's that good of a play caller or at drawing up an offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's the head coach. This is his team. If he doesn't like what the calls are, he's going to put his own calls in. And I don't know if he's done that much, but if he has been good. So, I'm kind of wondering where we can get some the offensive philosophy, where we can upgrade that at. I'm not sure. We can't bring Mr. Steichen back, so this is just what we have. We have to just deal with the cards we were dealt, I guess.
Man, it's a problem that maybe they can fix in the offseason. We keep talking about that, but I even wonder if they would do that, because it would almost stuff like this is the shit that causes me to not even want to I would if they were bringing back the same coaching staff next year on the offensive side of the ball, it would make me not want to watch anymore. Like I would be like, oh, like
I'd be very
I would
upset.
watch, but it would be like emotionally checked out. Where I'm like, oh, they're not going to win anything because it's the same problems as last year. That if they're not going to fix them, it has been 4 months now, and they still are running the same exact shit that they did in the beginning of the season, and they're going to point to, well, we're 11-4. Yeah, but everybody knows you're not good enough. Everybody, even your own players know it. So something needs to change. But Ty, we got a game this weekend against the Cardinals, who we have talked about. They're not all that great. They're pretty bad. What are they coming off of? I
believe they lost to I don't know. Was it the Rams?
They are
no, they lost to the Bears.
12. Holy smokes, man! Yeah, they the week before they gave up 45 to the Niners. McCaffrey, that was the game. McCaffrey just had an absolute field day. The week before they beat the Steelers, so that congratulations to that. But it has been a rough year for those Arizona Cardinals. One of their wins against the Dallas Cowboys, the Shining Star.
Hey.
Thank you for that, by the way. This is the Jonathan Gannon return game, Ty. Does that give you a little bit more juice or excitement? This might be a game I might have to get in the building for, just to give Johnny Gannon a piece of my mind. But
Johnny G, baby,
G.
I mean, they gave up.
Good.
They gave up 100 and something, 100 and just had it in front of me, 100 and 250, 250 rushing yards to the Chicago Bears. So I think we should have tremendous success running the ball. Gainwell, Swift, Hurts, McSweeney.
Yes.
We should run all over them, I think. And then that'll open up the passing game. I just don't know what I honestly just don't know what the Cardinals really have to offer on defense. I do love Trey McBride for them on offense, but other than that, they don't have much of anything, it seems like.
No, they are really just limited. I mean,
Kaiser White, I guess.
Who's catching passes for them? Is it?
I think it's Mike Wilson and Hollywood when he's healthy. Michael Wilson from Stanford, Rondale Moore, Greg Dortch. He's the one who did the "You're too small" celebration when they were down 38-6.
Nice, I did remember
when
that.
he caught a touchdown. James Conner, I guess, runs the ball, catches the ball. Imari DeMarcado, Keontae Ingram gets in there, like just a bunch of just mid-pack. So, yeah, Jeff Swaim.
Yeah, they're just this is a bad
Zach
football
Pascal.
team.
Zach Pascal, it appears, has played in 12 games and has 4 catches on the year for 19 yards.
Hey, at least he's a good, locker room guy. He's really he's a good
He might
blocker. He's a great blocker.
He might play Warzone with Kyler Murray. So hopefully it's double XP weekend this weekend so we can get Kyler Murray out of sorts.
I don't even think that'll be the problem. I think what maybe I don't know if this is the game for it to happen, but maybe we can get some of those guys back. The Darius Slays. I don't know about Landon Dickerson. I mean, we don't really need to rush that. Dean, Avonte Maddox. Time is
I forgot about
getting
him.
closer and closer to that happening.
Please.
So, you got Nick Morrow and Zach Cunningham are both listed as questionable on here. I'm not so sure what's going on with that right now. But I think, at the end of the day, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this game. This is a team that's trying to lose, the Arizona Cardinals. They have a quarterback who's not good, and it seems like they're going to be stuck with him now. They're not even going to be able to draft a quarterback because he has so much dead cap money on his thing that they're just stuck. They're screwed. And
got to get a Marv.
That's what every report is saying, that they're going to go out and get Marvin Harrison Jr. if they, get one of the, I think number 2 or number 3, like one of those top picks. It's unfortunate. Like if I were them, I would just draft the quarterback and have Murray sit on the bench for a little bit. Like I'm not going to miss an opportunity. Like if I were able to get like Caleb Williams or something like that, then I would just pick him and have Kyler deal with it. Just send him away and let him go play COD for a couple years or whatever. I don't know. Like
become a COD pro.
Yeah, just go chill with the FaZe clan or whatever and go do your thing. And I don't know. Like that's a tough situation when you give money. I mean, we know it as Eagles fans. When you give money to a quarterback who's not good, It kind of just hamstrings your franchise for a couple years. It is what it is. But Ty, they gotta, like you said, they gotta run the ball on them. They have to be able to move the ball. This game's in Philly. Jonathan Gannon is the one that cost us from having Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator. So we gotta take advantage. It should be a game that they get up for and they want to kind of take care of business. I know maybe it doesn't mean as much to the players as much as it would be to the fans to kind of rub it in Jonathan Gannon's face, but it's more of just we have to get this right. We got to get ready for the playoffs. We can't come in here and just sleepwalk through some of these games. We're not in that position like we were maybe last year. So they got to go out there, man. They got to take care of business. And I'd like to see the offense build on their stuff. And it does worry me that Kyler Murray could scamper his little legs around and maybe make some plays and kind of hurt our defense. But I also would like to see our defense, our defensive line maybe get some sacks. Maybe keep him in the pocket and just make him throw the ball. That's seems like the way to be. I mean, we're talking about a 3-12 team here. I'm not going to get too excited if they beat them, but they need to cover one of these games at some point, Ty.
Yeah, great teams cover, right? Is what they always say.
Well,
so
we're not great. That's what it seems like. But there you go. Eagles, Cardinals. I guess we haven't given our prediction yet. I am going to go 35-17.
I'm gonna say 34-20.
Yeah, they got to cover. They just have to do it. It opened up at 12.5. It's now down to 10.5. So maybe Vegas knows something. They think that the Cards are going to keep this close. I have a you just name some of those players that on the outside, are they going to, maybe Bradbury's just going to get cooked by Mike Wilson all day long. I don't know.
Maybe yeah.
Is Rondale Moore still running around out there for them? Maybe he's.
Yes, remember he killed us one game. I think.
Maybe he'll go out there. Yeah, that was last year, right? He smoked us out in the desert. So maybe I would like to see the Eagles just get this trend in the direction of getting this right. And maybe get A.J. Brown has 150 yards, and then he'll grace us with talking to the media after the game. So there is your Eagles discussion and talk. We did 52 minutes, Ty, on the Birds. Before we get out of here, we must talk about some other things, though. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Ty. He is a L.A. Dodger. How excited are you? 12 years, $325 million. And then the Dodgers also had to post an extra $50 million to the franchise that they got him from in Japan. That's pretty wild, man. I mean, that's $1 billion on two Japanese superstars that the Dodgers went out and spent. You got to be, as a Dodger fan, fired up that this is your franchise. This is your team that went out there and didn't settle for 2 years in a row coming up short. They went out and got two elite players. Well, I mean, I guess potentially elite players, because I see a lot of people are like, well, he's never thrown a pitch. It's like, yeah, well, we saw him throw in the World Baseball Classic, and we seen the guy pitch for many years in the Japanese, I don't even know what the league is called.
NBP, the
NBP,
Nippon
right?
Professional Baseball.
Yes,
he was on the Oryx Buffaloes. So shout out to the Buffaloes for sending him over. I guess he's a 3-time Pacific League MVP. So I'll take it. That league's filled with talent. I did not realize how small he was. So he's a bit on the shorter side, 5'10", 175. That might be an issue, but I saw some people say that the baseball they use over there is different. I guess it's less sticky and it's either smaller or something like that. So that could be an issue. I saw some people say that if he was, if they put him in the prospect pool, he would be like top 10, top 20. I was like, okay, that's a little concerning-ish, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come in right away and be a superstar off the bat, but it seems like he has a good fastball, sits 94, 95, touches, 97, 98, 99. He's got a nice little curveball. I think he has a cutter that's like awesome, and a splitter, a nice split change. So it seems like he has a deep arsenal, and that's really all I care about. He's got a bunch of good pitches that move. He has really good command. So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be an adjustment period coming over here, but he's, I don't think he's going to have that much pressure on him. I think the spotlight will be on Ohtani, even though he's not pitching. And then you're going to have guys like Glass now. Maybe Kershaw's back. I think Bueller should be ready. Dustin May, maybe he'll pop up here and there. Maybe Urias or Bauer come back. I probably hope not, but I don't think he's going to be our ace, and we're going to give him like this ace workload and say, all right, go win us 20 games. But when you give somebody that money, the most money a pitcher's ever gotten, obviously the expectations are high. I just think there's going to be he's 25, right? He's still young. I don't think I think it's fair for him to struggle early. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, him and Ohtani, I think they're pretty good friends. So that was awesome. That was huge. Ohtani also bought Joe Kelly's wife a car. He bought her a Porsche because she led the campaign to give him number 17 from Joe. So shout out to that. That was awesome. I'm sure she doesn't need it, but she couldn't believe her eyes when she saw it. So shout out to good guy Ohtani for doing that. I still think we need some work. We need to work on a couple moves. I saw somebody say we want Emmanuel Clase. I would love Mr. Clase.
Yeah, I would too.
Josh Hader. I would love Josh Hader, but he's going to get like 6 years, 130. So
nope.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, listen, it's not my money. So if they want to keep shelling out money, fucking go ahead. But eventually, it kind of caps you at what else you can do. So I give Jordan Hicks 3 years, $40 million. Sign some other reliever, trade for some guy. I don't know, but maybe one more outfielder too. I think I really wanted Randy Arozarena with Glass now instead of Manuel Margot, but it is what it is. The Rays also are having their own troubles. I don't know if you saw what happened with Wander Franco, but he's missing. Nobody knows where he is.
Well, yeah, I mean they were going to come for him at some point. He's
Yeah, the feds did a sweep, but they didn't find him. So if you have any location, if you have any whereabouts on where he is, let me know. So I will lead this manhunt myself. Get that reward money.
I will be the new Dog the Bounty Hunter if you need me to find Wander Franco.
Yes. So yeah, I love it. Go be aggressive. Go make some moves. I mean, the Braves they've made a couple moves, but they haven't made anything big. The Yankees have done nothing. The Phillies kept Nola, but they haven't done anything else. Nobody else has really done anything in general. I mean, there's all these
just been the Dodgers.
Trade. Yeah, there's all these trades and maybe this guy's on the market. The stove is pretty cold. It's pretty lukewarm at best, maybe room temp, but it seems like it's kind of chilly. I don't know what exactly we're waiting for. I mean, everyone was saying, "Oh, Ohtani's holding up the market." Well, he signed, sealed, and delivered. I guess Yoshi has not technically signed yet, but I'm guessing that won't be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was bad news when he was going to the Rams game with Ohtani that night.
Apparently, that was not true. So
really,
yeah, apparently that was false.
It wound up kind of funny that I'm watching the Rams game and I'm getting an alert on my phone that's like, "Hey, by the way, he's going to the Dodgers." And it started to trickle down that night where I was like, "Oh yeah, he's going to the Dodgers." Like it's kind of like a done deal. And you had the feeling once that Ohtani went there that it was like, okay, we might be in a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah.
But
he's going to help us. Ohtani's our best recruiter. He's probably the best recruiter in the country. So
Philly still can't get any Japanese players to come play here. I think they've had 2 in their entire franchise, and then we had to sign them towards the end. I mean, so Taguchi, I'm pretty sure. And
my God!
I mean, those.
I forgot about
he's got a ring.
Holy shit!
He's got a ring.
Yeah, he does.
Those are the days.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was just saying they don't sign any Asian players. Like they are not in the Asian market. We're really
the international. We talked about that last episode. It was really
international. Yeah,
they stay out of that. I guess it's not really by choice. It's just kind of
how it goes.
How
right?
it goes.
Maybe?
Yeah, I mean they gotta win a World Series and then capitalize after. Like they're really not one of them teams. I mean we were in the hunt, but if you have the option of coming to Philadelphia or going to Los Angeles, I mean if I'm from, I mean especially if I'm not from this country, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd go to Los Angeles. Like
also like.
Yeah, go
ahead. International guys are Asian players specifically. They want the Pacific West Coast. Like the Padres just signed an Asian pitcher, less heralded Asian pitcher, but they just signed one. The Oakland A's signed was it Fujinami? Fujinami. I think they got rid of him, but they signed him.
Yeah.
And the Giants were right there. It's so funny that everyone's oh, look at the Dodgers ruining baseball, ruining the sport. The sport is completely dead and buried and cooked because of the money to throw around. I'm like, bro, all we did was match 2 offers. We matched the Giants' offers for Ohtani. We matched the Mets offer for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And they chose to sign with us over the other teams that had the same contracts. Maybe the deferrals were different, whatever, but the same deal, the same exact deal. The Angels probably the goddamn keys to the city and the team, and he didn't want to go there. Yoshi didn't want to go to the Mets. Like everybody kept saying, Yankees, Mets, Yankees, Mets, Yankees, Mets, and then the Dodgers signed him. And everyone's mad, but we gave him the same money. It's if we only got one of Otani and Yamamoto, people wouldn't have cared. But since we got both, everyone's saying, "Oh, the sport's ruined. It's over. I'm not watching ever again." Like, okay, don't like. I don't care.
I really could care less as well. 12 years, $325 million, wound up averaging out to around 27 a year. So that's not really that bad, especially if he winds up, being what they think he's going to be, and maybe a top of the rotation starter. It's, it's a long time. That's the only concern. And I talked about if I was him, I wouldn't even have wanted to sign a 12-year deal because I would have liked to kind of cash in a second time, maybe. Right. But, I guess for him.
I think there's an opt out. I think there's an out after years 5 and 8 or 6 and 8 or something like that. So I guess,
bizarre.
If he's 30, 31, he's like, fuck this, I'm leaving. Otani. Yeah. So, but I just think the bigger issue is MLB owners not spending money. Dude, Art Moreno of the Angels has like a $4 billion net worth, and he has not spent money ever since the Angels were a team. Like,
well, I mean, I would say he has. He just hasn't done it in the right area. I mean, he signed Rendon, and that was a horrible deal.
The Justin Upton deal, I believe, was also bad. I thought there was a pitcher too. So, but like all the other owners around the league, they're all rich. So, like, why isn't your favorite team spending money? Why are you mad at me? When the Brewers,
I mean, there's so many teams out there,
$700 million. The Cardinals guy, $4 billion. The Ricketts family for the Cubs, $4.5 billion. Like, the Dodgers aren't the only rich team in baseball or with rich owners. The Guardians are run by the Dolans. The Dolans have so much money. I'm trying to think. Steve Cohen obviously has so much money, and the Mets have spent some money. But if your team is that, I don't say that bad because they're not awful, but they're not good. You think they'd be more aggressive, right? You're like, all right, we're not getting outbid for Yamamoto. We'll give him $350. John, the Red Sox owner, he's fucking loaded. They all are. All of them are loaded. I mean, the Steinbrenners, the Illiches or the Tigers, the Poland or Palins, the Twins, and the Twins are trying to cut money. They're trying to save money. You're not good enough to win as it is, and you're saving money when your owner's sitting on four Bs. And you're mad at the Dodgers because they're going after it. Come on, man. Like, I get it. Maybe I don't know.
No, I would feel the same way. It's not like my first thought. excuse me. When he signed, wasn't baseball's broken. Oh, this isn't fair. They need to that wasn't the initial thought. It was just you're talking about two case specific situations where Japanese players wanted to stay on the West Coast and play together. That's kind of the situation. It really wasn't if Blake Snell and Matt Chapman and all these other guys went to LA, then it'd be like, oh, okay, baseball's broken and they don't want to play anywhere else but in LA. I don't think that's the situation. I think today, if the Pirates came out and offered Blake Snell a 10-year, $500 million contract, he would accept it on the spot. But it's not everyone else's fault that these teams don't want to spend money. And it's not like they don't have it. If you want to own a Major League Baseball team, you're going to have to spend money. That's how, if you want to compete, you're going to have to spend money. I mean, look at the soccer teams overseas. That's how you compete. You spend money. It's that simple. But I guess I kind of wanted to talk about some of the other free agents and maybe the Phillies. We are a Philadelphia sports podcast at the end of the day. The Phillies, you even just said it. The overall, not even just the Phillies, baseball has been real quiet with a lot of these, rumors and the stove. The stove has been awful cold. I don't know if somebody didn't pay the gas bill or what, if the electric bill. I don't know what kind of stove you may have. Yeah. But things have been real quiet, and sometimes it's like this. I mean, Christmas, they don't really want to be focusing on this stuff. I imagine January, February. I mean, we didn't sign, as a Phillies fan, we didn't sign Bryce Harper. Castellanos, Schwarber until like February when we were talking about going to spring training, and that's when they were signed. I'm pretty sure they were in spring training when Castellanos signed. So it's always a little bit. It's different every year. I feel like when we were younger, it was it seemed like things got done a lot quicker. I remember Cliff Lee was like right before Christmas when the Phillies signed him or traded for him. I don't remember which time that we acquired him, but it just seems like things are much different now. But Ty, I'm seeing an article here that I did want to talk about, which is 3 starting pitchers that could be trade targets for my Philadelphia Phillies. So I was curious about this. I wanted to see what this guy would have to say, but the number 1 name, Framber Valdez. So that's that triggers me a little bit because that guy was cheating and clamping us up in the World Series. All of a sudden, he's switching hats, he's switching gloves, he's sweating. I mean, that guy sweats like nobody else that I've ever seen. Yeah. So it says it was surprising that reports circulated that the Houston Astros are taking phone calls on their ace. After all, Framber Valdez has been one of their best pitchers and a major role in their playoff success. Do you think they would actually trade him?
Maybe. He is 30, and he has the type of body the type of frame that probably won't hold up that well in his 30s. He's short, a little thicker. He's had very inconsistent moments. The last 2 years, I think he's been very, very just awesome, right? I think he's had an ERA. His ERA this year was a little high, but his FIP was a little low. So I think that goes to show that the team around him wasn't great. The defense around him wasn't great. 4.3, 4.4 WAR, back-to-back years. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to get something really good for him, maybe multiple top 100 prospects or something like that. But yeah, I think their pitching rotation is not looking the best either. So I don't know if I necessarily want to get rid of the most stable guy you have, right? But maybe they're hoping Lance McCullers can come back. I'm not really sure, but I would definitely try to call around for him. I mean, he's like I said, he's 30, so you got a couple more years left. At least of his prime, you'd think. And yeah, if I was going for it, I don't see why not. I don't think he's carrying a huge salary. I think he's still in arbitration for a couple years.
I think he's a free agent next year. I'm not sure.
It looks like he has 2 arbitration years, and then he's a free agent in 2026.
Okay.
When he's going to be 32. So yeah, I mean, listen, pretty cheap for how good he is. I think it would be dumb for Houston to trade him, but again, it depends what you get, right? So nobody is really untouchable at the end of the day. If I was the Phillies, yeah, I'd be like, hey, do you want to swap out pitchers? We'll give you Taijuan Walker. Maybe they say yes. I don't know, but
the rumor, the deal that they speculated, I think this is from a gentleman named Zachary D. Reimer from. Why is your name so goddamn perfect? You're a reporter. You write articles. Why do you have D in there? Whatever, but he probably has some serious emotional reason why it's D is Zachary. I'm going to be Matthew J. McSweeney from now on, but
I like it.
He put together a trade package. He said it would take Christopher Sanchez and Mick Abel. I mean, I would probably do that.
Right. You'd have to hope. Is Mick Abel going to churn out multiple 4-win seasons? Maybe, right? Maybe, but he's also had some arm issues already, so
we can't be sitting around waiting for these. Like Andrew Painter, I'm okay with waiting with because you're not going to
wait for like 3 or 4 players. They're all 19. Let's wait 5-6 years. Like, bro, I'm not trying to think that far ahead. I'm already almost 30. Now you want me to be like, oh, by the time I'm 35, no, bro, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
But the way the Phillies are set up, like Bryce Harper's in his 30s now. He's like, oh yeah, okay, we can't make a trade for another starter that has been something that's held us back in the playoffs the last few years because we think Mick Abel's going to be a real good pitcher in a couple years. But we'll just continue to trot out Taijuan Walker and Bailey Falter in the playoffs. Yeah,
that'll work.
You're like, okay, pal, I'll just go fuck myself.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto, official. Dodgers have just announced they agreed to terms with the pitcher for a 12-year deal. So it is officially official. Welcome to LA, bud.
There you go.
I'm trying to get out there. San Diego. I want to go to San Diego specifically, but I do want to go out into the Cali area, the LA, Southern California general vicinity sometime in March, April, May, or something like that. So hopefully I can catch a Dodgers game and hopefully not pay $5,000 for a ticket. But we'll see.
I've heard that stadium is very nice. I've had
So
a couple,
I was
couple
kind of
friends go out
surprised
there, and they said it's very nice.
because it's kind of old, right? I've heard mixed things about Wrigley. But yeah, I've heard really good things about Dodger Stadium. The good thing they do is they always renovate. They're always renovating something. So, yeah, I would love to go out there. Hopefully, I can beat up a Giants fan. That'd be really fun. Take his phone, throw it on the field. I would fucking love that.
Well, just watch yourself, though, because, I mean, people get stabbed at those games. That's
They do.
You're talking about 49ers fans mixing in there as well, because they are scum of the earth. Want to make sure I snuck in a little bit of a diss there. But what about Logan Gilbert? It's the second name that this guy has on here. Mariners might look for a massive return to trade Logan Gilbert, but they are also in desperate need of hitters to help out their roster right now and in the future. The Phillies could put together a package of prospects to land the righty that has 4 years of affordable club control remaining before hitting the free agency. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, he's 26. He's got 4 years of control, and he's already had, he's already a 3-win player. Making, I think he's made 88 starts in 3 years already. So yeah, he's not going anywhere. I mean, he's going to be spearheading their rotation for the foreseeable future. Again, you'd have to give up. I don't even know if the Phillies have enough in theory. I guess they do in theory to give, but you'd have to deplete your entire top 5 prospects or just your entire, the entire, top makeup of your farm system to, you'd have to give up Crawford, Mick Abel, somebody else, and then somebody else. And it's like, at what time is it worth it at that point? You're kind of selling your soul for immediate results. If you guys don't win the World Series in the next couple of years, Gilbert's still gonna be in his prime, but the entire makeup of the rest of the team is kind of up in the air. You need Justin Crawford in the outfield eventually. I don't want to hold on. I don't want to hug these prospects, but if you're just give them all up for one pitcher, it's the Phillies need more than just Logan Gilbert. But
yeah.
He would be awesome. He's a stud. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. And the last name on here is Shane Bieber. Would be more of a 1-year type of addition for the Phillies. Shane Bieber is hitting free agency after this year, and his production has continued to decline since he won the AL Cy Young in 2020. However, he is still a top starter in Major League Baseball, posting an ERA plus of 110. I don't know what half these numbers ever mean. That's why I don't like I don't like baseball because they use all these stats that I just don't understand. But with a season-long ERA, which I feel like that matters, is 380 in 21 starts. So, he would definitely be of help, but I wouldn't give up a ton.
Not awful, but he was also in the AL Central, which was just dog shit. And he still didn't strike guys out.
Throw hard.
The sticky stuff also played a huge part on him and James Karinchak, the psychopath number 99 for the Guardians. Seems like the Guardians were some sticky merchants. I'm not sure. But, yeah, Shane Bieber going from almost a 5-win pitcher to a 2-win pitcher. It's a steep drop-off from age 27 to age 28. That's usually, when you're in your prime. So we'll see what he does this year. But watching him pitch last year, I was not impressed. He was giving up a lot of hard contact. His home runs went up. His walks went up. His Ks went down. So I think the rotation on all his pitches went way down. So, he'd be cheap, right? That'd be a pretty solid option. I think he could give you I think he'd be pretty solid in the grand scheme of things. I think he'd be better than Taijuan Walker, but I don't know if he's really gonna. It's a start, is what I would say. Target a pitcher like him, or I'm trying to think of somebody. I can't even think of anybody, but I would target somebody like that in their 20s to 30. I
have a name here that another article that I'm on SI.com, some sort of offspring of that. So I take that for what it's worth. But Marcus Stroman is a name that they're linked to because I think Dombrowski is still looking for a pitcher, and despite Dombrowski saying the rotation is set, which I think is a lie. I don't think that can't be the case. If that's the case, then the Phillies are not going to do anything next year. What are they saying here? I think he's a free agent, so. He's 33 years old. I believe he is 33, and they're saying 3 years, $63 million. So something in the neighborhood that you signed Taijuan Walker. Listen, I don't love that either. This seems like we're kind of at the bottom. I mean, not necessarily the bottom of the barrel, but the top of the barrel has been picked out, and we are kind of stuck. Just left with the scraps, I guess. That doesn't really necessarily make me feel good. So I don't really know what the option would be. I don't know if there's any other guys that they could trade for, or it doesn't really seem like there's a lot. I mean, maybe some names pop up, Dylan Ceesay, and I don't know. I don't. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of action going on yet. And Blake Snell's still out there. I really don't want the Phillies to get him, man. I just have never been a huge believer in him. Am I crazy in thinking that? I mean, he's 31 years old.
No.
I don't know who's going to get him or what the money's going to look like. If it was a 3 or 4 year deal, then I would do it. But I can't imagine it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be much more than that. I'd be very weary of doing that. Weary. But if it's either him or like Jordan Montgomery, I think I'm taking Blake Snell. Like that's kind of the problem. Shoto Imanaga.
Yeah,
I think. That's a guy I would go after.
Yep, I agree. I mean, is he just going to end up in Dodgerville? That just seems like the way. Now they're saying that he might go to there's team like the Angels are pursuing him and stuff like that. Like I mean. I don't know. I'm so. I guess I'm a little bit down on the Phillies now. Once I saw the contract, I was like, okay. Like I wanted Yamamoto. That was kind of like my pipe dream this whole offseason. So then when it didn't happen, I was like, oh, okay. Like when I saw 12 years, 300, I was like, we were never doing that. Like that's okay. Plus $50 million to post for his services. Never really thought that was going to happen. Shoto Imanaga, though, I would love him just because he's a lefty. We really don't have a lot of lefty starters. I mean, Christopher Sanchez is pretty much the only option. I really want the Phils to move on from Walker. Maybe try to find somebody who will take him. And I don't think he's awful. He did pretty good for the some of the regular season. Maybe they could fix him and he could have a bounce back season. But the fact that they weren't able to use him in the playoffs really just worried the shit out of me. I didn't know he was that, when you sign a guy to that much money, you're basically paying him $20 million a year. I would hope he'd be able to throw in the playoffs, but and then bullpen. The bullpen seems like it's always the last thing to go in free agency. So, maybe we start figuring that out soon, but I don't know, Ty. It's the stove has been cold.
Very cold. Put on your jacket. I'm kind of hot. I'm kind of warm. I'm cozy. So
you're cozy. I mean, I'm freezing over here. I'd like to come into the crib and bump some heat off you, but
I got you, dude. I got a parka for you, some gloves.
I need a parka. How about the? I mean, do you? I guess I don't want to say do you care about the Sixers, but I guess we just kind of want to talk about Embiid. He's got the sprained ankle now.
Sure.
Sprained the ankle against, I believe that was the Raptors in a game where. I think he almost had a triple-double. He was going crazy in that game, I'm almost positive.
Messed around and got a triple-double.
He had 31, 10, and 9 in that game. He was one assist away from another triple-double. It's crazy to see the way his assist numbers have skyrocketed. Yeah. That was a game in which 3 guys had 30 points, which I don't think I've ever seen that as a Sixers fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought there was a stat about that, but I just don't remember what it was. I'm not going to say I'm not interested in this team. I definitely am, but I just have a sick feeling that this whistle that Joel Embiid's getting is not going to be there in the playoffs, which it won't be.
It won't be.
And his 33 points per game is going to drop to like 23. He has the biggest drop-off in regular season to playoff points per game. I have concerns. Like Tyrese Maxey against the Heat on Christmas Day was, 4 of 20. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to have to make a move. They have to 100% make a move. I think the Bulls, it seems like they're winning games without Levine. So I don't think I want Levine, and I'm hoping that Caruso can be available, or OG Anunoby from the Raptors. That's who I want. That's my guy, OG Anunoby for sure. But we need to make a move 100%. I don't think this roster is Mo Bamba played 26 minutes the other day. I know he scored 18, but also Marcus Morris is playing minutes. I don't know. We just need more. Tobias Harris he has played a little bit better lately, but all in all, he's not the guy you want to rely on as a second or third scorer or option. And then there's not even really many behind him, so it's kind of a big three, and Tobias Harris is in that big three. I'm not a fan of that. So,
No.
yeah, there has to be a move or two that get made. Nothing huge. I don't think we necessarily need or can even afford or can make. So, yeah, we'll see what it is. It's a long season. The Celtics are they're always there. They own us. And then the Bucks are a little, not as good as they usually have been, right? Their bench is kind of shit.
Yeah.
But Lillard, I think he's going to start to figure it out. Middleton is healthy. Brook Lopez is getting like 3 blocks a game, which is crazy. Giannis is just doing Giannis things. The Orlando Magic playing really well. I was really hoping Embiid would play so we could see how we look against them. Franz Wagner is balling his ass off. Paolo Banchero is playing good. Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs. Your boy Markelle Fultz. So, other than I think the East is relatively weak. The Hawks are just falling on real hard times.
Maybe
Brooklyn
that's a player
stinks.
who becomes available. I don't know if that's what we would want in a Trae Young. I mean, not just for us, but I'm just saying, like the Hawks might be in John Collins, maybe. John.
Well, he's not there anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
DeJounte Murray, apparently,
I wouldn't
the Knicks
even want
won
him.
him. The Lakers won him. Yeah, I don't know if I would want him. He's a great athlete, a good defender, but he just has that low volume scoring. It's something about guys from the state of Washington or that that area of the country where they just don't shoot well from the field. I don't know what it is. Tony Roden, Jamal Crawford, DeJounte Murray, Marquise Chris. They all seem to have just an efficiency problem, if you will. But he's a hooper. He can ball. He's got length, good size, good wing defender. Kind of reminds me of Oubre, just a better athlete.
Definitely a good player.
So yeah, maybe him. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Bogey. We need a little shooter. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Speaking of John Collins, though, he is on the trade market because I thought I was tripping, but I saw that because the Jazz hate him, so that's what made me think of that. And when he used to cook us playing for the Hawks, but yeah, the Hawks really are 12-18. Sixers took an L to the Heat the other night, but the Heat are much more of a deep team than we are. If we don't have Embiid, we're kind of screwed in a sense. So and Maxey, I think he was shot. What, 4? Like, it was one of the worst.
4 of 20.
4 of 20, right? And he just killed them. He really did. He just could not find the hoop. And you said Embiid's not playing tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense. I would keep him out as long as it takes because none of these games really matter at this point. We are number 3 in the Eastern Conference right now as it stands. Ty, do you know who we would play in the playoffs?
The Knicks or
the
the
New
Heat?
York Knicks.
Oh, give me that.
And then if we won that, we would have a road series basically against the Milwaukee Bucks. That would be ideal. If we could avoid the Boston Celtics until the Eastern Conference Finals, that would be ideal for me because the Celtics just are our daddies. They own us, so I want nothing to do with that.
I just don't know how we would match up with the Giannis, Lillard, Middleton three-piece.
I don't know how we match up with anybody towards the end of that situation, but
if Embiid's on though in the playoffs, also I don't know who matches up with us, right? But that's a huge if.
I don't know who would guard Embiid for the Bucks. That's what would make. I mean, would it be Giannis? Brook? I feel like he would have a field day with Brook because Brook can't really move that well. And if they were able to space it out, but I guess Giannis would be helping the whole time. It would be a big Toby series. It seems
Middleton.
Yeah,
I don't want that. I don't want a big Toby series.
Ty, in that 30-point game, they 3 guys had 30 points. You know the last time that happened was 1961. Do you want to know who those guys were?
I think I can do this. Hold on.
I have it right here in front of me.
Dolph Shays or Hayes?
Yup.
Is it Shays or is it
Dolph
Hayes?
Shays.
Hal Greer.
Yup.
Some other...
Dick Barnett. Dick Barnett.
Go.
34, 4, and 7 for Dick. Dolph Shays had 33, 16 boards, 5 assists. Hal Greer had 31, 8, and 5. They worked together to beat Wilt Chamberlain that game, who put up 56, 26 boards. He was 20 of 32 from the field, and he shot 16 of 22 from the free throw line.
I wish can we do an episode where we just watch this game?
I'm in. We'll do a live
let's do it.
watch along. I mean, if they even have footage of this game.
Yeah. Did this game happen?
We still haven't seen the 100-point game. There's no footage of that, which is amazing to me. But, Ty, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, I did want to talk Flyers, but we kind of went long, and the Flyers, are doing their thing. So we will give them.
They're doing their thing.
We will give them their appropriate time.
They have a road trip coming up on the West Coast. I think they should take a couple games so we can regroup from there.
Let's start with the Canucks. I believe they play tomorrow
night,
and then they
Canucks
play.
Are nasty, man. It's probably the best team in the league, in my opinion.
And then they play the Flames. So you said, they have a lot of West Coast sort of action going on. We will be back next week, preferably Monday or Tuesday, whenever there's not a holiday. Excuse me, I'm just yacked on my mic. It's late in the pod for me to yak on the mic, but we will have a full show. We will have an MMA show later on this week. I'll have a WWE show coming up soon.
Hey.
I know Ty will be locked in on that because he is a big Roman Reigns fan. I know he loves Roman Reigns, but
shout out to Roman
Reigns. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney.
I'm Ty Capone.
And ladies and gentlemen, please, as always, on New Year's or whatever holiday you are, if you are drinking, please do not get behind the wheel.